This video is a response to a question I had this last week. And the question was, how can I better interpret my piano music? How can I bring a better interpretation to what I'm actually doing? My first piece of advice is let your teacher know, assuming you're in piano lessons and you enjoy your piano lessons and your relationship with your teacher is going great and you have an awesome respect for practice and you enjoy it, more or less. But you just know you can bring more out of yourself. Well, let your teacher know how motivated you are. This actually gets you the attention of your teacher in a really good way. Your teacher will think, wow, this student really means it. They deserve my attention. You know, you really deserve your teacher's attention, and your teacher wants to know that you want that. So that will build your skills and your relationship with your teacher. You're saying, I trust you. Help me get better. I really will do this for you. I'll do this for me. So you want your teacher to know how motivated you are, and then you want to use all the things there are out there at your fingertips. When I was his student, I wanted to record myself, and I wanted to listen to great musicians, and I wanted to go to master classes and learn more. Well, I had to use a tape deck, and I would have to hit rewind and then try to stop at the place where I thought I started on my cassette tape, and then I would go to the library and put Vladimir Horowitz concerts on hold, or go out to a concert way out in Seattle, and it was just like, took forever getting there through the rain. And then for master classes, I had to either go to a master class or be in a master class or view one, and it just wasn't as convenient as now. I mean, now you can listen to Vladimir Horowitz anytime you want, even though he's dead, and you can listen to even like Gil Els, you can listen to Olga Kern, you can listen to Martha Argerich, you can listen to these world-class artists. They're right in your hands, and you can make them perform for you anytime you want. I didn't have that. I couldn't watch their technique. I could just listen to like CDs when CDs were starting to be popular, and that was exciting. It was a lot easier than hitting the rewind button and trying to find out where that spot was. And also master classes. There's a lot of master classes on the internet, and you can learn so much. You can learn the mature sound that they're trying to get a student to reach. You can actually hear the difference. That's a really exciting moment when you start hearing the difference between what the student is playing, because sometimes they don't get it right away, and the teacher's like, try again, and you start hearing in your mind, oh, I want them to do it like the teacher said, and I can hear the difference. You're going to develop that sense of difference in your own playing. Okay, so let's go especially highlight at this point recording yourself. Why is it important to record yourself? Well, let's say you're going out tonight, and it really matters this night how you look. And some people are like, I don't really want to look in the mirror. I don't like to see. Well, of course you'd look in the mirror. You'd want to know how you look going out. Sometimes people say, oh, I don't want to see a picture of myself. Don't take a picture of me. But if you don't like how you look, maybe you could try to change it until you like it better. Like if you don't like your clothes, then reevaluate your wardrobe. If you don't like your shape, maybe you could eat less bread and sugar and eat less often, and that will actually change. If you don't like your hair, you can do something about that. So. Or maybe you can not care so much and just be comfortable with yourself the way you are. Well, anyway, that's a different matter. But when you're going to perform, you want to look at what you're doing. You want to listen to what you're doing. That really matters. And how we practice is going to directly affect how we perform. If you practice and your baseline practice has faults in it, you won't be able to build an interpretation if you have cracks in your foundation. When I sit here and I practice, and if I just goof up a little bit, I can pretty quickly and easily forgive myself if nobody but me is listening. But that's not a good policy to prepare for a really stellar performance. Of course, we don't practice from the very beginning to the end of the piece every single time like a performance, but you want to determine how much you're going to play and say, I will start here, and even if it's a small bit, I will end there. And that's it. And when you do build up your practice to have a long run through, do it for your video camera. It gives you an edge of, oh, I am performing. Then you don't have to worry if you missed something or you forgot something or something didn't get brought out the way you should. You can go back with your music open, or a copy if you like, and a nice sharp pencil, sit down at the table, you'll feel so studious. Then you turn your recording on and you look through the music and you play teacher on yourself. You're like, okay, let's see. Can I count out loud with this? Does it breathe? Did I shape this? Do I like it? Did I goof up there? Is that technical place too hard still and I need to drill it more? Do I hear a difference between this section and that section? They're the same thing, but do they mean something different the second time I go through? These are really valuable questions, and I'd like to go over them more in future videos. But that's just kind of a baseline train of thought. When you're listening to yourself, you're basically looking in your performance mirror and see, hey, how is it going? Then you can take on more of the responsibility of what your teacher normally would do and give your teacher a higher job. Work on stuff at your house that your teacher doesn't really have to point out anymore. You'll save money that way. You'll be getting to a higher level sooner, faster, better. Okay, so another thing you can do with your video is you can check section to section. You won't have to use your tape recorder or even skip around on a CD, but you can go from section to section just by drawing your finger across that play bar, and you can hear if the sections have the same tempo. You may need to use the metronome in your practice more. You can tell. I wouldn't recommend using practice always and forever because it might make your playing sound very metronomic, which is not always great in all cases. However, the metronome is an amazing practice tool, and we can maybe talk about that. But you should also be really sensitive in listening to yourself and performing if you have a good sense of meter. That's not just pulse. Pulse could be just boom, 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 boom. But meter takes into consideration the character of each beat. Let's say I'm in 4/4 time. I'm a conductor. Okay, with a pencil. So I'm going to go 1, it's down. It's like there's this guy here and I want to hit him on the head. So I'll go 1, got him. 1 is heavy and it's downward. It has gravity to help you go down. So there's 1. All right. Let's see, which direction's 2? 2 is lighter. Here, I'm going to push him this way. 2. And then 3 goes that way. Set him away. And then 4 is up here, and it's the lightest of all, but it has the most potential to go down again to 4. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you take that conducting pattern and you feel a piece that you play in 4 like that, you'll realize that the music doesn't stop on 4. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 4 leads into 1. So then your music is going to get a better sense of connectedness throughout the whole meter, throughout the whole piece. From measure to measure, you'll feel this pull, this long line. And the only time where that feeling might stop to breathe is between a really important section, and even that, it's not like it stops to breathe, it's more like the line thins out a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you get a sense of line in your music. So that's a talk about meter in 4/4 time. 3/4 is, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2 is light, 3 is even lighter perhaps, but it has a potential to go back again into 1. So far we've talked about being accurate, being fluent, how video and being self-aware can really help you. Try not to stop in your performance. You have the video you can review with your score in front of you as a safeguard, so you don't have to stress out about, oh, well, am I going to remember what I did wrong? You can check if you need to do more counting or metronome, or maybe more drill in technical section, and you can feel the meter really strongly. And I'm going to talk about phrasing and dynamics in another video, but one remark about the technology that we use is that they do have like they program it so that your loud sounds are not quite so loud and your soft sounds are not quite so soft, and they try to kind of average it out. So be comforted in knowing that if you can hear your dynamics on like a phone or an iPad, you're probably doing a really good job. So keep it up, try to exaggerate, we can always use more dynamics, and then we'll talk about characterization and dynamics in another video.